The objective is 6.12c, summarize numerical data with numerical summaries, including the mean, median, range, and IQR, and use these summaries to describe the center, spread, and shape of the data distribution. And 5th grade students have not been exposed to this concept. This concept is brand new to 6th grade students, and in 7th grade, students will compare double box plots and double dot plots to summarize the numerical data. Good morning, class. Today we are going to work on measures of central tendency. This is something brand new. So make sure you have your pencil, your notebook, and your handouts to follow along and take notes with me. We're going to use this set of numbers to find the mean, median, mode, and range. First, we're going to start with the mean. Mean is average. The definition of mean is average. And one way you can remember this is that a little saying I have is the average middle school student can be very mean. So it has the word average and it has the word mean in there. So you know that the definition for a mathematical mean is the average. There are two steps to find the mean or average. The first step is to add all the numbers in your data set, and the second step is to divide by the amount of numbers you added together. Please make sure you write this down or highlight it in your handout. Now let's go ahead and find the mean in our data set. So what is the first step? Let me pull my popsicle stick. Okay, Tommy, can you tell me the first step that we just learned? Yes, we need to add all of our numbers together. So we're going to add 28, 12, 32, 19, 13, 15, and 23. Okay, I'm going to give you about 1 minute to add those numbers together, and I'll pull another popsicle stick to see who got the correct answer. Your minute begins now. Okay, time's up. Sheila, I pulled your stick. Can you tell me what the sum is of the numbers that you just added together? 142 is correct. Good job. So what was our next step? We had two steps. First step was to add all the numbers in the data set. We just did that. Next we need to do what? I'm going to pull another stick. Adam, what do we need to do next? That is correct. We need to take 142 and divide that by 7. Why are we dividing this by 7? Because that's how many numbers we added together. I'm going to give you another minute to go ahead and divide this out. Remember to stop at the thousandths place. Your minute begins now. Okay, time is up. So, Sarah, I pulled your stick. Can you tell me what your answer was when you divided 142 by 7? You got 20 and 285 thousandths. That is correct. So if we were let's say we had a multiple choice for this question and we had A as 19, B as 20, C as 21, and D as 22. If they asked you what was the mean of the set of numbers, which answer choice would you choose? Let me pull another stick. Okay, Ben, what would be the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer is B, because you would have to round. And when the number rounds, it rounds to 20. Good job. Now that we have found the mean, let's have a group discussion about how we did that. So you're going to answer the question, how do we find the mean? You're going to discuss with your group the process that was taken to find the mean, and answer with this sentence stem. I can find the mean of any given set of data by blank. You and your group will have 1 minute to complete the sentence stem, starting now. Okay, let me roll the die to see which group is going to answer with the sentence stem. And group 4, you have been chosen. Tell me what you feel your answer should be. Great, very good. So I can find the mean of any given set of data by adding all the numbers together and then dividing by the amount of numbers that I added together. Very good. Good job. Okay, now let's discuss the median. The median is the number in the middle when the data is in order from least to greatest. Remember the words median, middle. They both start with M, and they both have well, one has a D in the middle, and the other has 2 Ds, but they have a D in the middle. Median is the middle. Another way you can remember this is think about a street. Well, when each street is going in different directions, if you notice, most streets will have something in the middle. Sometimes it's concrete, sometimes it's grass with trees, but that is the median in a road, and that's also in the middle of the road. So that's one way you can remember that the median is the number in the middle when it's ordered from least to greatest. So to find the median, the first thing you need to do is order the numbers from least to greatest. Then you find the number in the middle by crossing off the first and last number until you get to the middle. One thing that can be tricky about medians is that if it's an odd set of numbers, there will only be one number in the middle, but if it's an even set of numbers, there will be 2 numbers in the middle. In this case, you will find the mean of those 2 numbers in order to find your median. Here is a couple of examples that we're going to practice finding the median. Remember, the first thing we need to do is list our numbers in order from least to greatest. So our smallest number is 12. Then we have 13, 15, 19, 23, 28, and 32. So the next step is going to be what? Look at your notes and tell me. Jacqueline, what is the next step? Yes, I'm going to cross out each number starting from the front and the back until I get to the middle. And what I mean by that is my first number is 12 and my last number is 32. So I'm going to cross those two out. And then I'm going to cross out 13 and 28, 15 and 23. And as you can see, 19 is the only one left in the middle. I have 3 numbers on this side, 3 numbers on that side. So I do know it's exactly in the middle. So 19 is my median for this set of data. So let's look at the next set underneath here. And let's go ahead and do our first step and list it in order from least to greatest. So we're going to have 14, 17, 18, 23, 28, 29, 31, and 35. So let's go ahead and cross out one in the front, the back, front and back, front and back. Wait a minute. Oh no, I have 2 in the middle. Well, if I go and look, let's see how many numbers did I have in my data set. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. An even number, which means I'm going to have 2 in the middle. 23 and 28. Can 23 and 28 be my median? No, you only have 1 number for the median. Go back and look at your notes and tell me the next step. Sam, what is the next step when I have 2 in the middle? Yes, I'm going to add 23 plus 28. 3 plus 8 is 11, carry my 1, 5. So 51, and then I divide it by 2 because I'm going to find the average of those 2 numbers. And we already know how to find the average. We just add it and divide by however many. So in this case, we're going to add them together and divide by 2. So we're going to take 51 and divide that by 2. 2 can fit inside 5 2 times, which is 4. 1 left over, bring down my 1. 2 can fit inside of 11 5 times. With the remainder of 1, add a decimal and a 0, bring that 0 down. 2 can fit inside 10 5 times. So the median for this one is going to be 25 and 5/10. Whereas the one on top, the median was 19. And that was the odd set of numbers. And the bottom set of numbers were an even set. And that's why we had 2 numbers in the middle. Okay, now we're on to mode. We're going to use the original set of numbers that we started off with at the very beginning. Our set of numbers are still the same, 28, 12, 32, 19, 13, 15, and 23. Well, mode means the number that appears the most often. This is the easiest measure to find. So if you look at the numbers that are in our original set of data, do you see any numbers that appear more often than the others? I don't. So that means that we don't have a mode in that case. So there is a such thing as having no mode. Okay, so this set of data did not have a mode. It's possible to not have a mode at all. And it's also possible that you can have more than one mode. But let's look at this set here. We have 12, 14, 83, 14, and 25. Do you see any number that repeats itself? Trisha, do you see a number that repeats itself? Yes, 14 is listed twice. So in this case, our mode is 14. Now let's look at the last set of data here. Let's look at this set. We have 33, 45, 36, 33, 45, 28, 26. Do you see any numbers that repeat more often than the other numbers? Well, yes, we have 33 and 33. But look, we also have 45 and 45. So in this case, our mode is 33 and 45. And that's all you have to do to find the mode. Okay, on to range. We're still using the original set of data that we started with, and I'm going to explain to you what the range is. It's very easy. Range is the difference between the largest and smallest number in a data set. It represents how much the data is spread or spread out. For example, the bigger the range, the bigger the spread of the data. So if your range, once you subtract your largest and smallest number, if your range is 150, that means your data is very spread out. Well, if you do the same thing for another set of data and your range is only 5, that means your data is kind of close together. So let's look at what we have here in our data set. And it's only one step to find the range, which is to subtract the smallest number from the biggest number. And I'm looking here, and my smallest number is 12. I don't see any other numbers smaller than that. And my largest number is 32. Nothing else is bigger than that. So I'm just going to take 32 minus 12, which gives me 20, and that's my range. That's simple. Okay, look at what we just did. We took a set of numbers and we found the mean, which was 20 and 285 thousandths. And remember, the mean is the average. And if we estimated that, it's going to be about 20. The median is 19. The mode, we didn't have a mode, so it was none or no mode. And our range was 20. Notice how all these numbers are pretty close together. That's why they're called measures of central tendency. That's about the average of everything. Now that we know how to find mean, median, mode, and range from just a set of numbers, let's look at what it looks like at a star level word problem. Bob recorded the distance in meters that he swam each day for 2 weeks. The data is shown in the box below. What is the mean distance that Bob swam during this 2-week period? Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to pull out the important information and figure out your process that you're going to do to solve this problem. Okay, starting now. Okay, time's up. Randy, I pulled your stick. Tell me what's important out of this problem. The table is important, yes. So we know that the table is very important. What else? Yes, we're finding the mean. And how are we going to do that? We need to add up all the numbers in the table. Correct. That's our first step. So let's add up all the numbers in the table. I'm going to give you about a minute, maybe a minute and a half to add up the numbers in the table. Okay, Sarah, what did you get when you added all the numbers together? You got 8,400. That is correct. Now what's our next step? Our next step is to divide by 14. How did you know we were dividing by 14? That is also correct. We have 14 numbers listed in the table, and that's how many numbers we added together. So now we're going to take that and divide it by 14. I'm going to give you time to divide that out. Okay, so when we take 8,400 and divided it by 14, what do we get? 600 is correct. Okay, now we have the same information but a different question. The question is, what is the median distance in meters that Bob swam? I'm going to give you and your partner 30 seconds to decide how to solve this problem. How are you supposed to find the median? Okay, I pulled blue group. The two partners in the blue group, go ahead and tell me, how are we supposed to find the median? Okay, yes, we're supposed to list our numbers in order from least to greatest. That's our first step. So according to the table, we should have 475, 500, 500, 525, 525, 575, 600, 600, 600, 650, 700, 700, 725, and 725. What do we have to do next? Yes, we're going to mark off from the first and the last all the way until we get to the middle. But what do you notice? How many numbers do we have in this data set? Yes, we have 14 numbers. So we know that we're going to have how many in the middle? 2. So let's see what they're going to be. We're going to cross off the first and the last. And the 2 that we have in the middle is 600. What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to add 600 plus 600 and divide that by 2, which is going to give us 600, right? Because 600 plus 600 is 1200 divided by 2 is 600. In this case, this was easy. So the median distance is 600 meters. That's your final answer for that one. Okay, now let's look at the next question underneath it. It is asking for the range. And how are we supposed to find the range? I'm going to roll a die, and I have group 1. Tell me, how do we find the range? Yes, we are supposed to take our largest number and subtract our smallest number from that. So since we already had them listed in order from least to greatest, we already know that the biggest number is 725, and we're going to subtract 475 from that. 5 minus 5 is 0. I need to regroup. 12 minus 7 is 5. 6 minus 4 is 2. So 250, does that make sense? Yes, it does. And our answer is here. Interquartile range, or IQR, is included in this TEK, but your students must know how to make and understand box plots. Once they understand that, they can find the IQR, and I would just have them make sure they understand how to label their least, greatest. Here is the median, and here's the lower quartile and the upper quartile. They have to know, to find the IQR, that you must take the upper quartile and subtract the lower quartile from it. And that tells you your interquartile range. So in this case, our upper quartile is going to be 54 minus the lower quartile, which is 26. And 54 minus 26 gives us 28. And that's how you find the IQR. This TEK also covers data distribution. Students need to know whether their data is skewed right, left, symmetrical, and they will see that on bar graphs or dot plots. And if you look here at the first one, is skewed to the right. It's the opposite of what it looks. So to me, it looks like it's skewed to the left, but it's actually skewed right because of the long right tail, and the other one here is skewed to the left. And then students need to know that something is symmetric here. I've also heard it called centered. Uniform, I don't know if they really touch that. And you also have symmetrical, where you can split it down the middle. And then they will see things that are non-symmetrical. Make sure to touch base with this with your students. The next few slides are going to contain questions that I will use for student practice and exit tickets. But before you have students work on these questions here in the next few slides, I would first have them practice with their partners and even group work with mean, median, mode, and range. Make sure you cover mean, median, mode, and range with box plots, stem and leaf, and bar graphs. They will see mean, median, mode, and range in all of those different types of graphs, besides just given a situation with a data set. The problems here contain things that you can see if they have mastered each concept. And I would also put this in Schoology so I can have instant feedback whether they got the questions correct or incorrect. And then I would use that information to pull small groups.